last day in Lucerne, we decided to give the Uri Alps another try by taking a side trip up to Mount Stanserhorn. After a short bus ride, we arrived in the town of Stans, a small village, very pretty village, of a population of around 8,000 people, where we boarded a funicular train for the first half of the trip up to the top of Mount Stanserhorn. Now, I know you're probably wondering what's the difference between a funicular train and a cogwheel train like we took on Mount Pilatus. Well, I just happen to know. There's actually two differences between those. First of all, cogwheel is a lot easier to spell than funicular, so there's one difference. The second difference is funicular is a whole lot more fun to say. So there you have it. That's the primary differences. Well, there's some minor differences, like the funicular is actually, I think, based on the Latin word funiculus, which means rope. So you can guess that this tram is actually being pulled up the mountain as opposed to the cogwheel, which runs on a rail and pinion system where it clanks every 3 or 4 feet as a braking mechanism to get up. So there you go. There's your engineering information for today's episode, and I think you'll find that well worth it later in life. Now you'll notice on this trip up, it's quite a bit different than Mount Pilatus. It's a lot more open. It looks to be farmland, primarily hay, I'm guessing, and pasture land. And not nearly as steep as Mount Pilatus was. This is something you could actually, or even I could actually walk up, as opposed to Mount Pilatus, where I don't think I could have even walked down it. At about halfway up the mountain, we stopped and got off the funicular train and boarded a 2-level Cabrio aerial tram. I started out at the very top doing some photographs, and then later on went down and joined my wife down on the enclosed section. But it was very nice. You could see this was getting a lot steeper now as we got closer to the top. And we also, luckily for us, started moving into the clouds a la Mount Pilatus. Well, as we neared the top, we lucked out on the weather. Clouds were intermittent, and we actually got some really great views. That's a shot there of, I believe, Mount Pilatus in the background and Lake Lucerne. Once we reached the top, we were treated to a very nice visitor center. It had a nice gift shop where I bought the traditional souvenir to take home, and it had a really good restaurant with a rotating dining room. So as you ate, you just got a panoramic view of the whole valley and the Alps, and I have to say it was very spectacular. It was well worth taking the time to go up and see this. I wanted to zoom in on these peaks in the background because when I was standing there with my wife Honeydew, when we saw those peaks, we both immediately said the same thing. Let's ditch the cruise and rent a helicopter and go over there and do some downhill mountain skiing. And I know I sure would have liked to have done that because that looks right up my alley. Well, as we close out our 3-day stay in Switzerland, I think I can sum it up by saying that the scenery is just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it's an incredibly beautiful country. The food was outstanding. I don't think we ate anything in that 3-day period that just wasn't fantastic. And the people were great. We certainly live a lifestyle that's quite a bit different than what we're used to, but very idyllic. So next week we're going to have to do a quick safety video, and then after that we will start our 8-day Viking cruise down to Amsterdam.